What's going on, guys? Okay, so we're just waiting for the dream team to arrive.
Hello. Let me see if we can hear you properly. Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I can hear you guys absolutely fine.
What's up, man? What's up, JG?
It's been a long time. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Hey, these Januaries, man. It's crazy out here, bro.
Tell me about it. Tell me. So when did you guys fly out? You flew out like
Monday.
Sick.
Yeah, we're in Portugal, chick.
Oh man.
We thought we'd give you a view.
You know, you guys are lucky. So I came back and then I was waiting for them to announce this week if they're going to go into lockdown. Because I was actually supposed to move back also for a few months.
Okay.
But they've locked down yesterday. So they've locked down for a month. So once they reopen in February, if kind of gyms reopen out there, I'm going to move back to maybe the rest of summer or something.
So where are you? In the UK?
I'm in the UK.
Okay, cool.
I'm in the UK. I'm here. I mean, look. I mean, I don't know if you guys. Let me see if I can. I don't know if I can. Yeah, I can. Hold up. Can you see this weather?
Oh yeah, we don't miss it. Yes, we live that.
So are you heading back to Porto in Feb?
Yeah, if they come out of this lockdown, then yeah, I'll be there for maybe 2-3 months.
Yeah.
Have you got a Portuguese passport?
I do, so I can just go in.
Like me.
No, but you can't still fly out there now.
Yeah, you can.
You can.
Oh.
Yeah.
I could still fly out, but obviously there's no point because gyms are shut, and here I've got access to a private plane. So.
Yeah.
I see. They're still open here though.
I know where you are.
Yeah.
You should come here first.
I think I should. I can come there now, right?
Yeah, with a Portuguese passport,
With a Portuguese passport, you can.
I think our next Q&A will be all three of us together.
There we go.
There we go. I'm hoping for that.
How
you been though, man?
I've been good. It's been, I think, which I know we'll touch on, it's been a wicked, wonderful learning year. I know it's been difficult for everyone, but I think, you know how we roll with this. Like being coaches, like we take every opportunity we can.
Oh, yes.
So I think, you know, the last year was difficult. I will be honest, I almost gave up on everything, including my business.
Yeah.
But, you know, we live, we learn, and here we are now. And I'm grateful for opportunities given for us to continue to learn and evolve that, you know, sharing that with people. How about you guys? How have you been? I've seen you guys make mad moves, which I want to talk about.
Yeah.
A crazy year, but an amazing one. And now obviously going into the new year, we thought why not as well do it how we do, just
Nice.
go, live and go, right?
That's it. I think like our kind of brand and what we're about is how we live anyway. So that's why, like, because we're always kind of adjusting.
Yeah.
The last year wasn't so much of a shock for us because we were so already used to having to
adapt to your surroundings.
Yeah.
We're forever changing our surroundings.
Yeah.
So whatever comes our way, we just adapt and change.
Yeah.
And I think that's our thing from last year. I think is being adaptable. Like, you know, obviously, like, there's always been things out of your control, and 100%. As you run in your own business, you'll know, like, you know, you like to be in control. That's why you run your own business and whatnot. But I think last year was a big eye opener for a lot of people, including us as well, to know that there's still a lot out of your control. But the most important things are still within your control.
I agree.
As long as you kind of stay on top of those things, you know, your attitude, how you adapt to situations, and things like that. As long as you kind of, your belief as well, I think, you know, it was obviously a very tough year, but I think, you know, a lot of people would have learned now that one lesson of, you know, there's still a lot of out of your control, but there's still important things within your control that you know, can really control, like your mental health, well-being, physical health, everything. So
sure. I think with that in mind, actually, because exactly what you said, how would you guys advise? Obviously, I'm over here preaching on my post and trying to be more conscious of my post to guide people in the right direction. What would you guys say that people can take away or do to be able to focus more on the things that they can control? Because for us, it's easy, you know, we've been doing this for a long time. But how would you advise people to say, hey, look, we can't control lockdowns. We can't obviously have voice whatever look we're doing that. But in terms of how can you advise people to control their environment and look after their health and fitness and their mindset, what do you guys say?
I think it's going to be different for most people, especially if they're new to this kind of thing now, where they're having to kind of really focus on their self-development.
Yeah.
But I think it's kind of like, you know, just looking in yourself, doing some soul searching and finding what makes you happy.
Of course.
You know, obviously before the lockdown, you know, with social media and everything like that, it's easy to see other people's highlight reels and whatnot. And I think with the virus, a good thing, it kind of leveled everyone out in terms of, right, everyone's stuck indoors, everyone's got to abide by the rules, etc., etc. So, you know, use that time, or if you're still in lockdown now, use that time to like do some soul searching. Don't just get sucked into, I just can't do nothing.
So I'll just wait until everything.
Yeah.
That's normal, because you know, who knows when it will.
Yeah.
Use the time wisely. Work on yourself. Read the books. Talk to people. You know, everyone has so much time on their hands now. Use that time wisely.
And that's the thing, JD. Is like you'll know as a coach, like a majority of the excuses would have been from people was like, I don't have time to do this.
Yeah, 100.
Now you've got like an abundance of time. You know,
Of course.
what are you going to do with it? Like, you know, still 24 hours in a day for you, 24 hours in a day for us. You know, what are you doing it? How are you using it? And it's not easy. Yeah. You know,
it is a constant struggle with your mind, with your everything.
Yeah, but it's you know, fighting to trying to keep some kind of balance.
Of course. It's quite funny because I don't know if it was in a book that I was reading. I think it's one of the Jamie Alderton things. And he talked about how back in the day, you know, you'd have here in the UK anyway, like I think even in Portugal we have the same thing. Like on Friday nights you have like the movie of the night and you sit down as a family.
Yeah.
And these days you have Netflix and you spend half an hour of your evening trying to, because there's so much choice.
Trying to decide what to watch.
You know,
see, we're bad at that, man. That's our Netflix time, is spending time trying to look for a movie, and then we get bored, and then
switch it off,
and then don't even, and then watching one.
Yeah. And I think it's the same thing
into a movie, and she's asleep.
Bad.
You know, I think it's the same now with time. Like before, like people didn't have time, or people would come up with any excuse. Now it's like you have so much time, and it's a bit like that concept of you have Netflix. It's like, shit, what do you do? So I think it's like, I actually made a post about it earlier. I don't know if you've seen it, but about the importance of routine and habit. Yeah. Because it is so easy to forget, like, oh, what was my day like before? Because, you know, people have this mindset of, I'll wait till lockdown ends. And I'm with you on that. We don't know when it's going to end. It's out of our control. So the more you focus on the future, the more overwhelmed and stressed out you're going to be. Yeah. Because it's like, well, you don't have, like, what happens in the future is how you deal with it right now. Yeah. So whether you're in a lockdown or not, like if you stop focusing on your health and fitness, then the chances are in the future, you could probably put yourself in a situation where you have a health disease or something like that, you know, because you've given up. What's your guys' kind of advice to people on that? Like, you know,
for that pigeon was coming at me then. Nice. Trust, if you saw the way it was flying at me, man, jeez.
I got distracted by the squirrel crossing the road here because I was like, where's the squirrel crossing the road?
Yeah, no, we're big believers in routine as well, man. And I actually did a post recently as well, just about like the 4 non-negotiable things that we do, regardless of the country we've been in. Because like last year we was in UK, South Africa, Zambia, back to UK. Then now we're in Portugal, right? So, you know, but regardless of the climate we've been in, the state of lockdown, you know, whatnot, we've always stuck to 4 things that we always do in our daily routine. One of those is going for a walk. So obviously, even when we were in South Africa, it was full lockdown. It was full lockdown. But you're allowed to go out for
a walk. Like an hour of training or whatever.
Yeah, so like, you know, we'd always get out for a walk wherever we are, explore wherever we are, you know, walk a new way, whatnot. We normally do that earlier in the day. Same when we were in the UK. You saw when we were back in the UK, like hoods, flipping coats. You know, it's cold, but we're still doing it. We're still getting our steps in, because that helps us, like, you know, freshen our minds out, you know, get away from the desk, get away from being inside the four walls.
Get away from getting sucked into just sitting on the sofa and scrolling
the
phone or jumping onto Netflix, no?
Exactly.
So getting out, it's like a reset, you know, your mind is like in nature, you're clearing.
But we love that.
Yeah,
we love that. So that's something like we both enjoy, and then, like, you know, it gives us the time to talk about whatever. It doesn't have to be what's in front of us, like, you know, work or business related or anything like that. It could be, you know, walking and seeing the pigeons and whatnot. You know, it's just kind of getting out. Another thing then is our daily exercise routine. So we'll do, like, you know, most of our workouts have obviously been home workouts for the last year. So dedicating time to do, like, you know, 40 minutes to an hour.
Exercise.
Yeah. Or even just something focused on the body. So then, if, you know, if we're proper sore, then it's still stretches and stuff like that. And then there's our communication time.
Relationship.
So spending time again communicating, even like between us, obviously, you know, just being open with how we're feeling and whatnot. If we've got any worries, anything that's bothering us, or what's been good, you know, the positives as well, obviously. And then obviously reaching out to family as well. So obviously we've been abroad for the whole year. So spending time, you know, Carina be calling her parents, I'll be calling my friends' parents, stuff like that.
Family and friends.
Yeah. So spending time on that, because again, it's so easy now to contact people.
Yeah,
that
100.
becomes like that Netflix thing where then people don't do it because it's too easy.
Yeah.
So
That's true. I was just saying, I'm going to add to that, but obviously for anyone that's tuned in, if you guys have any questions, please put them in the comments below. You've got like the little question emoji thing. Throw like your questions up, because we want to answer them. But yeah, in regards to what you guys were saying, I find that very interesting. And I think it takes me on to actually another subject, which is, you know, it's obvious with lockdown. I think one of the hardest things people to deal with has been obviously their mental health. So what's your take, like, on what people can do? Obviously, like you already mentioned about things, is like having a routine, speaking to friends. But, you know, sometimes, you know what it's like, getting in our own heads, and it's hard to reach out. So what would you guys advise people that are going through that, like, on how they can kind of, things that they could do, like, top 5 or top 3
something we suggest to most of, like, all our clients and people, friends and family we speak to, is having a journal. It's something we do. We have a journal and we write in it every day. So a journal is not only about, you know, your to-dos, but it's about what you're feeling, what you're going through, good and bad.
What you're grateful
for. And just writing it down on paper, taking it from your head and putting it on paper, releases something in your mind. And it's just like, you're taking it off your shoulders, and you're putting it onto paper, and then it's done. It's done. It's not something that's clouding you and making you feel depressed or low or whatever. So having a journal, I know in the beginning it seems overwhelming and you're like, oh my gosh, how do I start this?
Or it could seem like cheesy to people or whatnot, but it's so far beyond that. There's no judgment with it. It's literally just taking out what's in your head, sticking it onto paper, and then moving on with your day.
And then when you do feel a bit better, you can go through it again, and then you can see, okay, this is how I felt at the time, this is what I was going through, and then you'll see what you did think there was so much going on. Now when you look at it, you'll be like, oh, it wasn't that bad. You know? Sometimes you make things more than they are.
Most of the time.
Most of the time, because it's in your head.
I agree.
We just explode things up.
I think that writing down actually is something I took on during this time, which is something I've thought for years, and people said, write your thoughts down, write things down. And I never realized, actually, you know, it's different from just having diary, etc., but actually having time to write your thoughts down. And, you know, I wanted to add to that, you know, when I say to people, okay, I ask them, like friends or clients, did you write things down? So no, I didn't feel so negative. I was like, that's okay. Like, write down the positive things too, because the diary shouldn't just be about negativity. It should be like, if you're having a good feeling, like, write that down. What was positive about that day?
It was good, yes.
You know? Exactly. And then like the thing that's good, like what we do, like quarterly reviews and stuff of our journals, where we'll get away and we'll go and just read through what we've written over the last quarter, right? But you can find similarities in things like when you were feeling good, right? What things were you doing? Oh, right, I was getting 10,000 steps a day. You know, I was doing my workouts. I was eating like, you know, a balanced diet, whatever it be. And you'll find similarities then when times are negative. Oh, well, then I didn't write in my journal for like 4 days, like 5 days. I missed it for a week, and now like things are starting to slip back like in a more negative way. So you can find like, you know, similarities in what's happened in the past, and then you can learn from it. And that's the same thing like with these lockdowns. Like, you know, you've got to be able to like learn from this first lockdown that we went through, and then look back. Right, what did you do that like kept you in a good space? Right, what things were you doing? Like for us, that first lockdown, of course, we were getting sucked into Netflix and stuff like that, and it just we weren't feeling like in a good place. So then we just set like a simple reset where we're like, right, we're gonna spend time more in our relationship, where we're gonna like, you know, do like spa massage nights and but that's what we did, right?
Dance,
I like that.
We do nights where we just practice dance, like salsa and stuff like that. But like when you look back, like, or when I look back in my journal, that's the pattern I noticed, right? I wasn't feeling myself when we were just sitting watching Netflix every night. And then you have to like then use that and then go, right, well, these are the changes I need to, you know, make. And having that journal just keeps you so accountable to that.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's the little things. I think like we take for granted the little small things, and it is like something as simple as just sitting down with someone, like you said, like salsa or something like that. I think people like this. It's like one of the biggest things that I think people at home is like, oh, there's nothing to do at home, you know, apart from just sit down and watch Netflix. And it's like, actually, when there is so much to do, you know.
It's so much.
Like, there is so much to do.
It is more like an overwhelm of things to do, where people then just decide to do nothing. You know, or think, again, like you said earlier, JD, where they're like, oh, well, there's nothing we can do, so we're just going to wait for the lockdown to end.
Yeah, and that's not a healthy mindset to have, because again, it keeps you focused on that thing. And it leads me to training. You guys were talking about training, and I've seen a lot of the stuff you guys have been doing. And neither of you have lost any shape. You guys stay the same as if you've been doing, right?
Well,
which I love.
We have a little bit, but you know, we've tried our best to maintain and adapt. So.
Yeah, and as well, like from a bodybuilding perspective, JD, you might understand this as well. Like, it's tough when you spend so many years in your life in the gym, right? You know, for your mental health and everything like that as well. And you've worked so hard on building like a physique that, you know, you're proud of, and the strength that you're proud of, right? Then all of a sudden that's taken away from you. And there was a really cool thing someone asked me once, right? And they sat me down, right? And you've seen me at my lowest points, JD, right? Do you remember? Yeah, you've seen me. And I got sat down, right? And this guy told me, right, like, how do you identify yourself? Like, you know, do you identify yourself as a fit dude that goes to the gym, blah, blah? And you'd be like, oh yeah, that's what I've been doing for 10 years, whatever plus. And he goes, this is before any word of coronavirus. He said, what if that was taken away from you? What if you could never train? And then I thought, well, I don't know, I must be paralyzed or something for me not to be able to go to the gym. Like, something must be really wrong for me not to be able to go to the gym. And then obviously then explained about like having how you identify yourself. Like, you know, don't necessarily identify yourself as like going to the gym, you know, but what kind of person are you? And then this now got really tested when the gym was taken away from us, because like now, like, the thing that I love doing, I can't do anymore. But what kind of person am I? Am I someone that's going to, you know, let this overwhelm me? Or am I an adaptable person that will rise above it? That's what I then see myself as. So then, like, obviously it was still a battle. Like, Karina would tell you first off, like, obviously with the gym shut, it was a battle. But that's why I had to keep reminding myself, what person do I want to be? What person am I? You know, rather than I'm someone that, you know, goes to the gym, I'm a bodybuilder or whatnot, you know. And that's not putting down bodybuilders. That's just saying, like, you know, we have to adapt to keep ourselves, you know, like, mentally healthy as well. And I think that's what kind of pushed me and pushed us to keep training hard, because I'm a person that likes to push myself physically. Doesn't have to be in the gym. You know,
I love that you're sharing this message. Like, it is 100%. I love exactly what you're saying. This morning I was actually listening to the remainder. Obviously, a long time. Everyone knows I'm a big fan of Kai Green, how philosophical he is, because it goes past bodybuilding. And I was watching the seminar, which I shared a clip of I mentioned earlier, but it's actually touching on very sensitive today. And it's like, someone had asked him, well, can you be a bodybuilder outside of competing? And how this relates to your everyday life is actually, it's like, well, you bodybuild not just to look good, but it goes past that. It's a way of challenging yourself, understanding deeper aspects of you as a person. Like, okay, you are learning the discipline of moving physique, but how does then that apply to aspects of your life as you get to know yourself more and more? How does that translate? And other great people like Arnold Schwarzenegger always talks about how he started with bodybuilding, but then how that helped him to better himself as a person. We're not talking about the physical, but as a person, mentally, inside, in your heart, and how that carried on, like, being up and stuff. And I think it's very interesting in the situation that we are now. It really showcases, like, okay, the physical, it's always going to be there. We always alter our physical shape. As we get older, that will change. It's really just also taking the opportunity, even now, very much out to touch, but even every now, really get to understand ourselves as people, because I feel like sometimes it's easy to avoid that and just focus on the external aspects of it, like the physical. So I really love what you said.
And that's like amazing, because like, through the whole journey of like starting the gym, going to the gym, pushing yourself, when either you came from being like a skinny kid trying to get bigger, or if you came from like being an overweight kid trying to cut down, like, we all started from somewhere, right?
100.
And that's the one thing, like, going to the gym or working out in general has taught us, like, we have to go through these stresses for our bodies to change. So now we're looking at like external stresses on ourselves, like attacking our mental health and our spiritual health, or whatever it may be, right? Without these stresses, we can't adapt. We can't become stronger people. We can't, be able to become strong enough to help other people, that are then going through that same struggle, or a similar struggle. So that's, again, something to remember. And I think it's important that people need to kind of put themselves in that mindset, in that space, even if it's just 10 minutes in a day, rather than just being so subconsciously like blind to what's going on within themselves. And I think that's the main thing, like, from this crazy situation that's happened in the world, hopefully it's drawn people to realize what's going on within themselves and how they can use that to also help other people.
I like that. Actually, speaking like you were talking about, like, kind of within a spiritual self and stuff. And we often talk about this, and like, thing that, but all three of us have done is meditation. And I wanted you guys to maybe like expand on meditation, because I think sometimes when we talk about spirituality, sometimes people get it confused with having an aspect of religion or something like that. But really, it's connecting in deeper within ourselves. What advice would you give to people, like, on how to meditate, various forms of meditating, and how they can actually spiritually connect with themselves a lot more?
I think I'd start off with just saying that, like, this whole thing isn't about religion. Like, what religion is and what faith is completely different things.
100%.
And like, I think what people shouldn't avoid, like, they shouldn't avoid it just because it's like, they think it's cheesy or religious thing. But it's simple. It's so simple. It's just connecting with your inner self, connecting yourself with a purpose that's bigger than you as well. I think that's something that has always driven me, is like, through the tough times, when I've been really low, JD, and when you've seen me at my lowest, right, when I can't even really make conversation or whatnot, is I'm so far off what my purpose is. Like, I'm so distracted by the struggles that are going on in my own life, right? When I reconnect and I use the time to either meditate, pray, whatever it may be, like sitting down and just becoming present in the moment, I can align myself with what my purpose is. And my purpose is bigger than just myself. And that's what gives me the strength to break through the low moments and to realign myself to getting back into a positive state. And if it takes meditation, if it takes praying, if it takes sitting on my own, if it takes being present with my girlfriend, you know, if it just takes like feeling where I'm sitting now, feeling the hard surface on my butt right now, feeling the breeze, feeling the sun on my face, like actually being present and not so like blind to what's happening with yourself. Like, I think that's, and it can be so simple. Like, you know, people say, right, you need to sit down, you need to meditate, you need to close your eyes for 20 minutes. You know, some people can't do that.
Meditation is different, different for each person. Like Chris said, many people cannot sit still, and like he can't sit still for.
Yeah, this is the longest I've sat still for so long, man.
But meditation is just finding your center, becoming present with yourself, being aware of your body and your surroundings, let's say. And just being...
It's so much simpler than people think. It's just being aware of your thoughts, being aware of, like, the moment you're in. Like,
I agree. It's not, you know, I read it like, it's when you have certain thoughts, it's not identifying them and becoming a part of you. It's more like about observing it. And that's how people kind of get lost, is when they have a specific thought, on, you know, they get caught up in the world. And like, even now, like in a situation that we are in globally, although there is so much positivity around, you know, for some reason as humans, like people tend to focus so much on the negative, and then they want to get involved and they get sucked in. And it's like, you know, you have a vision and you have all these distractions around you. And I think like that's one of the things we have to do, is just kind of locking away any negativity, like whatever way that may be. Like, what would you give people advice on how to be able to block out negativity? I always talk about, like, I'm following or muting people on social media accounts that they're experiencing negativity, you know, like surround yourself with like-minded individuals, and even like as trying to connect with more like-minded people. But you know, sometimes for some people, obviously we're fortunate, like the circle we're in, we have very like-minded individuals, but some people, you know, they struggle. They might be in friendship groups right now where it's quite toxic. So what advice would you give people how to get out of those situations? How can they go down a positive path when a lot of around them is quite negative? I feel that's one thing people struggle with at the moment. What do you guys say?
I think what it comes down to, JD, and I'll be quite blunt, is...
No, go for it.
Yeah. You ready to stop this? It's just, again, I'm going to relate it to training, right? Or me being a client to you.
Yeah.
Right? I'm sure you've had 1,000 of these clients. People that come to you and they want to train, they want to get in shape, but they don't really want to do it.
Yeah.
Right. So they'll be like, yeah, I'll pay for the sessions, I'll pay for 10 sessions, but I'm not really that serious about it. But I want it. I want the body. I want to look like you, JD. But, you know, but they're not telling you this. But you can tell by their effort level. You'll tell them, say, you'll give them some nutrition advice. They're not following it. You know, they're skipping gym sessions. They're cancelling sessions, whatnot, right? So this is the thing, like, for people in that space, you've got to want it, right? If you're unhappy and you want to be happy, you know, you've got to put the effort in to become happy, right? There's simple things. You've got to give yourself a fighting chance. The things you mentioned, you know, speak to more positive people that are in that space that you kind of, you know, you like to envision yourself being in. You know, what are you actually doing with your day? Right, I want to be happy, JD, but at the same time, I'm oversleeping my alarms. I'm not eating as good. I'm just getting takeaways, you know. I'm hanging around or speaking to people that I know aren't the best, maybe, influences of my life. I can't be bothered to train. I don't want to train. Like, you know, what are you doing? Like, but I want to be happy, you know. So that's the thing. Like, I think, to be blunt, is like you've got to really want it, right?
Of course.
Then you don't.
You've got to want it more than you don't, right? Exactly like what Carina said. And there's going to be times where you're going to be challenged, and no one's happy every day. no one's positive every day. Like, you know, even the most people, like the people you are influenced by, they'll have days where they, you know, they can't be bothered and they're sad and life's beating them down and whatnot. But that's when you've got to really want it, right? You've got to want it more than you don't. So when those times come that you don't give up, that you adjust, right? So I think, you know, give yourself a fighting chance. Really look at what you're doing with your day, and really do some soul searching to find out what makes you happy.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
What makes you happy, what makes us happy might be different things.
Different.
The people watching this, what makes them happy, you know, might be something completely different to us.
But find your happy.
Find your
and
happy, man.
Work to make it happen, because, you know,
Of
it's
course.
not easy, but you need to want it more than you don't.
Yeah. And actually, I wanted to go back on to something we touched earlier, which was training. Actually, I wanted to ask a question is, you know, talked about obviously with the gym being taken away, and that's obviously the biggest thing for people. Like, some people have access to a gym, like, you know, I still have access to a gym, luckily. Like, but what do you do different with training? Obviously, I'm seeing you a lot, like a lot of what you guys put up. You guys are very raw and expressive. But for those people that have never seen you guys and they need that extra advice on what do you do different, how do you adapt your training, like what did you change? You know, because you're not having the heavy weights, you're having more like body weight, or, you know, investing in bands, or I saw you posted up about rings. So what were you doing different?
I think it's reassessing what your goals are, for one, helps me. I was always a big person for, you know, my squats and whatnot, and having like set weight that I wanted to do. Right, exactly. But like, obviously not having access to a squat rack and all that weight, you have to adjust your goals. I think, you know, what goals can you set that aren't going to be interfered with by coronavirus? You know, so I had clients that, you know, were waiting to go back to the gym, you know, or then the gyms opened in the UK and then for like 4 weeks and they shut. So it's like up and down. So what things can you control within your goals? So like, you know, whether it be a body weight exercise that you've never done before, you know, Carina's trying to master pull-ups, even more so. I'm trying to complete the Sally Up challenge for the push-ups twice in a row. So it's setting things that are going to keep you excited, but you can still stay accountable regardless to whether the gyms reopen or close or what equipment you have. Like, it's basically body weight exercises, but you can still focus on goals that are still to do with strength, but maybe just controlling your own body weight rather than squatting a max weight or whatnot. So I think that's something simple that people can think about within their own goals, you know, and then set like physical challenges to keep yourself accountable, right? So I know at the end of January, I've got my push-up test.
Okay. Right. I want to see that live. I want to see that being done live.
Yeah. Well, we can do it together, man. We can do it together. But that's something that got me excited, right? To keep training towards. Yeah. Because it's simple, regardless if the gyms here are open or not. It's something I can do from home or at the gym. And it's something that I can still track my progress. That's a big thing with us and a lot of our clients, is be able to track the progress, because then it keeps you accountable towards doing it, and also then keeps you motivated to know that, right, I've got to do this session today because I've got my test next week, or whatever.
I'm so close to my goal. Just keep pushing.
Exactly.
I need to work a little bit harder.
Yeah,
I think, just adjusting your goals to something that is controllable within yourself.
Yeah, I agree. I think setting yourself like that challenge, the Sally Up, Sally Down, actually, that's a very good challenge.
Yeah.
I think that's a very good idea, and I think like anyone watching this, obviously, that's I think what people should take away is setting yourself up challenges, is kind of going back to basics. Actually, you know, one thing that I learned the most from last lockdown was when I actually started exercising, when I actually started training. I remember, you know, every Sunday would be my like, push-up day. I would set a timer and go, right, how many push-ups can I do?
Yeah.
I think like little things like that, just going back to basics, realizing exactly what we said, reassessing the goals. Because, you know, I see so many people here in the UK, I don't know if you guys saw it here, like in lockdown. McDonald's is like full, like you have all this like mad thing. I say to people, like when people say, you know, it's quite blunt, but it's quite honest, is I can't afford to buy bands, buy dumbbells. Like, think of the amount of crap you probably buy on Amazon. The amount of times you go out and buy McDonald's. Like, it's not saying you can't have takeout. Of course, it's all about balance. But
this is what I'm saying, JD. Is like even for the mind as well, you know. So for the body, it's the same thing. Like, I can't afford bands or I can't afford coaching, but you're going and you're spending your money on McDonald's and all other sorts of things that aren't helping you, right?
That you don't even need. Like, let's say material things that you don't even really need.
That you'll use once and it will just be left on the side. But then it's the same for the mental health as well. Like, I want to become a happier person. You know, I want to become a more positive person, a positive thinker. But then you're, investing your time into things that are negative. Or into people that are negative. And then, that's why I said earlier, to be blunt, is like, with the bands, if you want to get in shape, but you can't afford bands, reassess what you're spending your money on. And you will be able to, invest your money more wisely on something that's going to have a positive impact on your life. So, yeah, man.
Nice. I want to, on this, I know us three, it's helped us over time. I don't want to speak for, I know when we spoke in the past, I think that's helped us is reading a lot of books. So I want to kind of get, a lot of this time I said people try and read more or listen to audio. What are 3 books you recommend to people? Like top 3 books to go for. Let's go mindset or fitness, anything.
For me, I would say my favorite is Power of Now.
I'm reading that now. I'm finishing it. That's definitely.
I've read it several times, and whenever I'm going through a low, it's my go-to.
Yeah. I love it. Okay.
The Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl.
Which one?
Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl.
Man's Search for Meaning. Okay.
Yeah, that's one that I've read probably once a year, and it really grounds me to know the struggles I've got going on in my life are minimal compared to what other people have gone through and came out stronger and on top. So that's something that grounds me. Definitely one I'd recommend. And the thing is I've read a mountain of books. But another thing I'm going to chuck a little spinball. A little spinball is. I love it. Is looking at your own life, right? Because all these people that have wrote books, a lot of it's just coming from experience that they've had, right?
Yeah.
And there's so much we can learn from our own lives that we've been through in the past, how we've came out stronger, how we've failed at things, how we've made mistakes, how we've done things well. I would say this is why keeping a journal. So the third book I would say is a journal.
It's a journal.
It's your own journal. Yeah. Because when I review my journal and stuff, I've had to learn so much, through the experiences I've been through. And I think that has also taught me a lot. It's just my own life experiences. So
I like it. I love that a lot. That's deep. No, but it's so true, because so many times I feel like people tend to kind of overlook the importance of writing things down and have with that situation. It's easy to get stressed out in a particular situation and not look into what can you learn from it. Not take time when things have calmed down, whatever that situation is, to go, all right, now I've stepped back from that situation. What can I take away from this?
Yeah, and that's the thing, JD. Is why do we read these books? Why do we get these business books or these mindset books or whatnot? It's we're looking for answers.
Yeah,
we're looking for someone to tell us this is what you need to do.
Yeah,
right. But we've got a vast amount of experience throughout our own lives where those answers are going to be there. Those lessons are going to be there. But if we're blind and we're not really paying attention to it, we think this person can tell me the answer because they've got a book. You've got your own book. You've got your own wealth of knowledge.
It's true. And sometimes if you just bring yourself back to your center, to who you are, you'll find the answers within yourself. You know the way to go. Your destiny and your path is set. And if you listen to yourself, you stay true to who you are, you will figure it out. Somehow.
That's a major milestone right now. That's a bump out.
Yeah, man.
I love it. And I think
And it's something where constantly, you know, this is all, we don't have all the answers. No one has all the answers, right? This is just life. We're all experiencing it at the same time.
Yeah.
And we're all trying to do our best.
I think you're right. It is about taking each day as it comes. And I think with the books, that's right. It's not going to give you the answers, but it's definitely going to help you to be more aware. Like when you say like The Power of Now is one book where, I think two things I kind of taken away from, two things I've taken away from books is, one is that, you know, you are in control of everything. That's number one. Number two is actually realizing, you know, sometimes it's very easy to forget that, you know, there's what, 7 point whatever billion people in the world. You're not the only one going through the same thing. And sometimes, you know, it's very easy to forget that. And I think what a lot of these books, whether they're entrepreneurial books or mindset books, they talk about how each author will always talk about the struggles, whether it's a business book, mindset. I think, so one I wanted to put out there, which is kind of on par with Power of Now, is 5 second rule.
What was that?
The 5 second rule.
The 5 second rule.
By, I can't remember, it's Mel, I can't remember her last name.
I think I've heard of it. I don't know.
It's a wicked book. And I think the reason why I recommend it is because the 5 second rule in short is, I can't remember her last name, is Mel something, which is really annoying, but basically it talks about, you know, when we're scared to do things, whether it was speak to someone about something that's on our chest, or making a big life decision, or, you know, even a simple, Chris, you mentioned it earlier, snoozing the alarm and getting out of bed. She talks about how when she was going through the lowest point in her life, you know, going through divorce, lost a big career, you know, etc. All these big things that kind of just dropped off her life. And she was like, what can I do to get away from things like being an alcoholic, something like that. And she saw something on TV that stood out, and it was a rocket taking off. And it was like, when it gets to the countdown, 5, 4, 3, the rocket's going to take off. It doesn't matter what happens next. Or positive or negative, if the rocket blows up, if it makes it out, like it's going. So I think one thing that helped me, or one thing I definitely learned, which I would recommend to everyone watching this, that does watch this later on, is that 5 second rule book. Give it a read and try that for your own things. It's like getting out of bed and you feel like shit. It's like, just put yourself a timer, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fuck it, get up.
And go.
Just get up and go do it. Do you know what I mean? And so that's, I think,
a good one,
And that's the thing. It always comes down to action, isn't it?
Yeah.
Taking action. You're like, you know, you got all these books and whatnot, which is amazing. But if you're not putting those, implementing it, you know, it's wasted. You know, the people are always searching for those answers in the books. They're within yourself. You just need to do it.
There was a thing when I did a seminar, I think last year. It was, I can't remember the exact number, something like 92% of people don't do anything. 7 or 8% like and 1% or something like that will do like absolutely 100%. And I think my advice is like, try and be, even if you're not in that 1 or 2% that's going to be 100%, you know, be within that 7% that at least does something. But that something is going to take you from that 7% eventually to that 1 or 2% of people that then just take action on everything that they're going to do. Does that make sense? So I think it's very easy to fall into being that 9% of people that just listen to something. You know, and it's like, it's just easy to just listen to what people are saying and take action.
Yeah.
So I think just taking, basically my point being is not trying to be perfect, and just start off being within that 7%, taking a small amount of action, and then eventually you just
Yeah, man. You got to give yourself a chance.
Yeah, 100%.
Chance, man.
And one last thing I kind of wanted to touch on, guys, one thing I admire massively about both of you is the project you've been doing in Zambia. And like that's actually closer to heart for me than you guys think, because, you know, growing up, you know, I never actually told this to anyone, not many people. My parents, when we used to go to India a lot, they actually adopted a little girl from the school. And I remember we didn't know we got there, and they were like, this is going to be your new sister. And I was like, what? You didn't tell us about this. I was very young, I didn't understand. And it wasn't until later in life that I understood what they were doing. They were someone that had no parents, you know, and I think, like, in the world we're in today, we're very lucky to be, you know, this part of the world. We have everything available to us. So I want you guys to, you know, what you're doing is fucking amazing in Zambia. So I want you guys to talk a little bit about it. I want people to know. So I'm going to put this on YouTube, and I want people to know what you're doing and
how people can help and what people can do to make their own move into doing something to help others.
I'm going to pass it to Chris because he's the master.
Right. So, first of all, it's something that we feel extremely grateful to be a part of.
100.
It is not about us going over there to, you know, how to put it, to go and be the saviors.
Yeah,
right?
Of course.
So I feel like, I'll speak for myself, but I feel like I have been gifted so much more from this project than I will ever be able to repay with volunteer work or fundraising or anything like that. You know, it's been a massive, massive part of my life. It has taught me so much. It has strengthened me so much. It's filled my heart with so much love. And if it wasn't for the project, I may have never met Carina. So, you know, I have so much to be thankful for the project, that, you know, the things that I'm doing in return are like a minor compared to what it's done to my own life. So, and that's something that a lot of people would also gain so much experience out of, is like helping others. And it seems like something so simple, but when you go to somewhere like Zambia, you get to go to Eden Farm, like the project that we're involved in, you'll experience an overwhelm of so much love and simplicity and the things that are really important in life. And you'll get to experience that hand-on, rather than, say, just donating money and then going about your own day. Like, you get immersed in that, in life, you know, and what life's about. So I could talk about the project the whole day, but since this is more about obviously mindset and whatnot, there was a quote to say something like, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah. But it's so true. Like, I've been there during my lowest times of my life, gone there when I financially have no money to give, but I've just gone to give myself, right? And I've come away from these projects feeling so uplifted, so strengthened, more than any workout I've ever done, more than any book I've ever read, you know, more than any seminar I've ever gone to. You know, immersing myself in that environment with the people, you know, it's life changing. Yeah, and giving yourself with no expectation. And that's the thing, you're not going there giving yourself thinking like, oh, I'm going to go and donate this so I can reap this. It's going there to just be a human, help other people with no expectation of receiving anything. But you do receive so much, but it's just not in material form, you know, it's on the inside. And that's something that even when I'm not in Zambia, wherever we are in the world, I can keep that with me. No one can take that away from me. And during the low moments, I can feel that, how I feel when I'm over there. So that's something that I want to feel like my purpose is to encourage as many people as possible, especially the people that are in my life that I know, that I love, that my friends, to go and experience it. Because I know that love will enter their heart as well, and it will help them through tough times that they're going through more than a book, you know, or more than anything else that you're doing, more than like a 10-minute meditation. You know, it will go and impact your life and your mind and your heart on a completely different scale.
Of course. Wow, that's mad. I love that. And yeah, exactly what you said. I think it's about not expecting things back, because you know, the moment you're doing things with expecting things, it's not going to be the same feeling. It's just a matter of doing it because you want to. You know,
just come back to the roots, man. Be a human. We've all got a soul. Like, you know, we all want to be loved, but the thing is, it's just like the gym. You can't receive it first. You have to give. You know, you have to give your effort. You have to put the graft in to build muscle. You don't just go walk into the gym and you just lay back and muscle comes to you. You know? And it's the same with love, man. You have to give yourself, like, unconditionally, without expectation to it. And what you will receive on the back end of it is so much deeper that you can carry with you for the rest of your life, man, and learn from it, and you know, hopefully, and then share that with other people, man. So
I love that. I think that is a wicked note to end on, because that is perfect. I think that's like a bigger takeaway for people to definitely just embrace that.
But yeah, if anyone wants to find out more information about how they can get involved, then just drop me a message. Sure. My DMs are always open to speak about giving back, man. So
yeah. Well, I'm gonna try and save this live stream and upload it up to YouTube. So I'll put your Instagram on there as well, so people can go. If there's like, I think you guys have like a link to do, like for the fundraiser or something, like to.
Yeah, we've still got
put that down as well, which would be wicked. But guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Yeah,
man.
I'm definitely a little like over. How long are you there for?
Lockdowns are hard, man.
How long are you there for?
Till April, probably.
Till April, okay.
Maybe, who knows?
Yeah.
I might,
living it, man.
I might be there in a few days' time. Just say it.
Hey, we'll see.
Awesome.
Yeah, man. Well, big up, JD, man. We'll chat after this anyway, man.
100. I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate you sharing everything you've shared. So yeah, this has been epic. 100%.
Awesome.
Yeah, man.
Have a great day. Talk to you soon.
You too. Thank you so much. Take care.
Ciao.
Bye. All right, wicked. So guys, that was it. I hope you enjoyed that. For those of you that tuned in, I'm gonna try and save this. I think Instagram still saves these Q&As. So yeah, that was wicked. I really enjoyed that, and I hope you guys really did as well. If you have any questions after this, obviously drop me a message wherever platform you're watching this video, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, whatever. Drop me a message, comments, share it with people. There was a lot to share there, quite a lot of deep stuff. So guys, you know how it is. As always, keep it real, keep it positive, keep working on yourselves. Okay, we're gonna get through this together, because you know this is it. This is not the end. We support one another, and that's why I always preach that message of keeping it real, keeping it positive, because that's what it's all about. So team, have a great day wherever in the world you are watching this from, and I will catch you guys later. Boom.